This is a CarNewsCafe.com podcast quick sip.
Hi, and welcome to this CarNewsCafe.com podcast quick sip. Today we're going to talk about the 2014 Kia Sorento. This is in the SX all-wheel drive package. We had the chance to drive the Kia Sorento for about a week, and we found it to be a really surprising vehicle. Most people don't normally associate Kia with luxury or with comfort. But the Korean automaker has come a long way towards Americanizing its vehicles, and it's now designing and building them here in the U.S., so the Sorento may be the pinnacle of its achievement in those regards. The 2014 Sorento is a lot more luxurious than you would expect for a crossover that costs under $40,000. The 2014 model year of the Sorento sees a big overhaul for the car. Styling has been slightly updated to denote a more contemporary but sporty look, while the interior sees an almost complete makeover. Engine options have been revamped to introduce a very svelte V6 that fits in above the capable 2.4-liter four-cylinder that replaces the underpowered base 4 that was offered last year. Technology, including the UVO system and the ride quality, have been major improvements this year. The 2014 Kia Sorento is nothing like its previous generation predecessors, where they were often kind of clunky, a little bit weak in their base engine, and they were long on style but short on utility. The 2014 model year brings a refined, capable, and far more posh Sorento to this market. The top-fitted Sorento SX all-wheel drive with the V6 engine option that we tested is capable of competing with some of the crossovers that fit in that price point and several $1,000s higher. In fact, the sub-$39,000 price tag here suggests that the car would be cheaper than it is. It feels like an entry-level luxury car. The panoramic roof with the sunshade, the crystal-clear Infinity sound system, beautiful leather trim seating, all of these can compete with anything the competition has. Kia's styling revamp over the past few years has been extraordinary. Thanks to the hiring of Peter Schreier, formerly of Volkswagen, Kia has completely revamped their entire brand line. For the Sorento, not much was really needed. The previous generation style was pretty spot on for the market. A few cues were added and changed, including a more aggressive front fender bumper, wheel wedges, and a little more top-shelf wheel options. The 2014 Kia Sorento otherwise keeps its characteristic clipped front and rear, as well as its rounded kind of boxy shape. This maximizes interior space and handling characteristics, though a little bit at the expense of a more sporty appeal in the design. The interior fit and trim in the Sorento is beautifully laid out. The base level trims are still a bit base with boring but not cheap plastics, while a few trim pieces set off the cabin. In this upper level trim in SX, however, the interior becomes bold and stylish and remains comfortable. The Panoramic Sunroof is the real gem here. Available in most trim levels and standard on the SX, its shade opens to reveal a glass roof extended back past the second row of seating, gives a huge open feel to the cabin and a great sky view for all those sitting inside. The front third of the glass opens as a normal sunroof, which peels back on itself. The seating is very comfortable, no matter the trim level, with the SX bringing that leather and offset stitching to really bring the shine. Controls are very easy to reach and understand, and the new UVO system has vastly improved its user interface. The hands-free, voice-activated systems are good as can be expected with today's technology. The first and second rows are roomy and easily accommodate 5, and entry and egress is easy as well. Wide doors and a relatively low stance aid this. The third row is suitable for kids and car seats, but not much else, and it cuts the cargo space down to nearly nothing. When those seats are folded down, though, which can be done with just a tug of a release, cargo space is huge and on par with anything in the mid-size crossover class. Fold down the second row and you have enough space to throw an air mattress and gaze up at the stars through that great panoramic roof. The small 2.4-liter four-cylinder base option for the 2014 Sorento puts out 191 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque for 22 miles per gallon combined. It's capable and efficient, but removes a lot of the fun factor from this car and really isn't worth any of the cost savings. You jump up to the V6 for just a little bit more money and you get nearly the same mileage. You get 21 miles per gallon combined, but you get much more power. It's 24 miles per gallon city highway in the all-wheel drive, and it puts out a very respectable 290 horsepower and 252 pound-feet of torque. It uses a 6-speed automatic transmission, and it just drives really well. It's very much worth upgrading to that V6. Speaking of driving dynamics, the 2014 Kia Sorento is pretty nimble for the class. It's not excessively so, but in the midsize class, driving dynamics often kind of turn towards stability and ignore cornering. Kind of makes for a lazy long turn. The Sorento V6 has changed that. It's a little bit heavier, so it has better acceleration and it turns a lot better. It just has good handling. Of course, the best part of all of that is that Kia has the electric assist steering that's programmable. You can use a little button on the steering wheel to set it in different modes. So if you want a little more sporty feel, you can do that. If you want comfortable drive with one finger like an old school Cadillac feel, you can do that too. It's really awesome, and I expect that we'll be seeing that in other vehicles soon. It is proliferating throughout Kia's line. On the road, the Sorento is quiet and it's comfortable. Off the road, it's sure-footed as any of the competitors in this mid-size crossover segment. Corners well in the dirt, it handles slick spots with ease. Although it's not a rock climber or a mud bogger, and it's not the extreme off-roader that, say, the Subaru Forester might be, it is great for this segment. This is exactly what people want. They want a vehicle that is capable, but they don't want necessarily a Moab machine. We tried it on dirt roads, we tried it in some light mud, and you can see some of that in the photo gallery, and you're probably looking at some of that right now. Key competitors for the Kia Sorento are the Hyundai Santa Fe, the Dodge Journey, and the Ford Edge. Some people would also compare it to the CR-V and the Toyota RAV4, but those are smaller vehicles than this. Compared to the Journey and the Edge, the Sorento is less stylistic and a little more contemporary looking. The Journey is a little more capable off-road, but not by a whole lot. The real competition for the Kia is actually its cousin over at Hyundai, which offers similar styling and roughly the same fit and trim for the price. The choice between the two will likely come down purely to the style of the vehicle. All in all, the 2014 Kia Sorento is a beautiful machine with a lot going for it. It's in a competitive market that's changed the way Americans look at the sport utility segment. Kia has brought a competitive, well-built, and very considerate crossover to the sales floor, and it should be considered by anyone looking to buy a mid-size crossover SUV, as it offers a lot more than you might expect. This has been a podcast quick sip from CarNewsCafe.com. We'll talk to you again soon.